Imagine standing on the vast Siberian steppe. The air cuts like a blade. Snow swirls endlessly across a horizon of white. Then a tremor. The ground shakes under colossal footsteps, rising through the storm. Not a herd of bison, not a line of elk, but mammoths. Massive wool-clad titans, their curved tusks sweeping like ancient scythes, pressing forward through the ice. The Ice Age giants. Alive. Here. Now. This is not a page from prehistory. This is Siberia today. What if mammoths still roamed the frozen north? Mammoths vanished roughly 4,000 years ago. Their last refuge a lonely Arctic island. But what if their story didn't end? What if, by some twist of fate, mammoths endured thriving across Siberia to this very day? This isn't simply a fantasy, it's a thought experiment that reshapes how we understand ecosystems, humanity, and the balance of life itself. The woolly mammoth was no ordinary elephant, standing over 4 meters tall, weighing 6 tons. They were armored in thick coats of fur and layers of insulating fat. Their tusks stretched over 4 meters, weapons for battle, tools for survival, and symbols of dominance. Mammoths weren't wanderers, they were engineers of the Ice Age world. Where they walked, they carved paths through snowdrifts. Where they grazed, they maintained sprawling grasslands known as the mammoth steppe biome that once stretched from Spain to North America. Without them, much of that ecosystem collapsed. If mammoths still roamed Siberia, they would not just survive, they would transform the land around them. In truth, mammoths dwindled as the Ice Age ended. Rising temperatures melted their frozen world. Forests expanded, pushing out the grasslands they depended on. At the same time, human hunters added relentless pressure. Isolated populations clung to existence, but by 1650 BCE, the last known mammoth breathed its final breath. Siberia became a place of silence, its greatest beasts reduced to bone and memory. Yet scientists today study not only how mammoths lived, but also how their disappearance reshaped climate and ecology. Some researchers even explore whether bringing them back through genetic engineering might restore damaged ecosystems. But what if they never left? What if they endured naturally? If mammoths had survived, Siberia today would look very different. First, the land. Mammoths would keep vast stretches of tundra open and grassy. Their constant grazing and trampling would prevent forests from overtaking the plains. This would create a thriving steppe ecosystem, home to bison, musk oxen, and predators like wolves and Siberian tigers. Second, the climate. Studies suggest mammoths played a role in cooling the Arctic. By knocking down trees and exposing grasslands, they reflected more sunlight into space, locking away carbon in frozen soils. With mammoths still alive, parts of Siberia might remain cooler perhaps, slowing the pace of modern climate change. Third, humanity. Indigenous cultures of Siberia, like the Yakut, Elwenki, and Chukchi, would share their lands with these giants. Mammoths would be central to myth, survival, and identity, much as whales shaped coastal peoples. Yet human expansion would bring tension. Roads, railways, and oil fields would cut through migration routes. Conflicts between mammoth herds and modern civilization would be inevitable. Finally, the wild frontier. Siberia, already vast and untamed, would carry an almost primeval atmosphere. To step into the tundra would be to step into another time, into the Ice Age that never ended. In this vision, mammoths are not ghosts of the past, but guardians of the present. Their survival would remind us that Earth is not ours alone, that our world is built on the lives of creatures older, stronger, and stranger than we can imagine. And yet, the reality is silence. The mammoths are gone. Only bones remain, entombed in permafrost, waiting to be studied, or perhaps resurrected through science. But the question lingers. If we could walk beside them, would we treat them as allies of the land, or obstacles to progress? What would their survival say about our own place in nature? Because if mammoths still roamed Siberia, the world would not just look different, it would feel different. Colder, wilder, older, a reminder that the Ice Age never truly ended. And so we must ask, if mammoths endured, what else might have survived? Could saber-tooths still stalk? Could giant sloths still wander? Could prehistory still live among us? That is a story for another time.